Good morning, y'all. It is Friday. Anybody else glad that it's Friday today? Let me show you something. I don't know if you can see. It's like snowy. It's snowy this morning. It's cold, and I don't like it. Anyway, hope y'all are having a great day. And I was going to ask you to do something today, and I forgot what I was going to ask. Oh well, it's left my mind. So today we are talking about Genesis chapter 3. Genesis 3. So whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay, you want to make sure that you read through the whole chapter. Genesis chapter 3. And this is a story that we've all heard before, most of us have heard, about how Adam and Eve were tempted in the Garden of Eden. And you know what's interesting is Satan uses a lot of the same tactics today that he used with Eve in the garden. So let's talk a little bit about that. So if we look in chapter 3, we can see it starts by saying, "The serpent was the shrewdest of all the wild animals the Lord God had made. One day he asked the woman, 'Did God really say you must not eat the fruit from any of the trees in the garden?' 'Of course we may eat fruit from the trees in the garden,' the woman replied. 'It's only the fruit from the tree in the middle of the garden that we are not allowed to eat.' God said, 'You must not eat it or even touch it. If you do, you will die.' 'You won't die,' the serpent replied to the woman. 'God knows that your eyes will be opened as soon as you eat it, and you will be like God, knowing both good and evil.'" Have you ever thought about the fact that there's a difference between being like God and wanting to be God? Think about that just for a second. What's the difference between wanting to be like God and wanting to be God? Well, in my commentary for chapter 3, it makes some great points about Satan's motives and how he uses the same motives with us today. It says Satan used a sincere motive to tempt Eve, telling her that she would be like God if she ate the fruit. It wasn't wrong of Eve to want to be like God. To become more like God is humanity's highest goal. It is what we are supposed to do. But Satan misled Eve concerning the right way to accomplish this goal. He told her that she could become more like God by defying God's authority, by taking God's place, and deciding for herself what was best for her life. In effect, he told her to become her own God. But to become like God is not the same as trying to become God. Rather, it is to reflect his characteristics and to recognize his authority over your life. Like Eve, we often have a worthy goal, but try to achieve it in the wrong way. Before you start, check your steps. Do they honor God as well as pursue the goal? And you know, I think that is so timely because here we are at the beginning of a new year. A lot of people have set goals, and that's great. There's not a thing in the world wrong with setting goals, but we want to remember when we set a goal, are we including God in that? Are we including God in that? Self-exaltation leads to rebellion against God. As soon as we begin to leave God out of our plans, we are placing ourselves above him. This is exactly what Satan wants us to do. So I just thought that was a cool point to go along with Genesis chapter 3 today. So on Monday, we will pick back up with Genesis chapter 4. For today, I will also include some questions down below in the comments that you can work on as additional questions for the reading today. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I will see you back here on Monday.